I think we should all try to retire as early as possible. Every one of us. I came to the realization for myself 5 years ago, and the only reason I really started digging was because I hated my job, man. It was the job was terrible. It's one of those jobs where you're super excited for the weekend, but then on Sunday afternoon you already find yourself thinking about what's coming on Monday, right? And just feeling that knot in the stomach. It was that kind of job, the kind of job where you dream about it at night and you're just dreading it. I hated that job. So that's what spurred on my initial interest in retiring early. That's what started it. But it's interesting, right? Because my wife and I have had very, very different work experiences. Very different. She's had much more of a career than I have, right? I've been more like job to job kind of guy. And she loves her work. She loves her career. And is always looking for the next promotion, like anyone else that's in her career field. The thing that strikes me as odd, though, even in that situation, is that every one of them, including her, they work pretty closely with the next step up, the promotion, right? They work with that person pretty closely. And they can see how much stress is on that person. They see these people literally, and I'm not exaggerating, literally ending up in the hospital because of stress and because of the workload and because of the expectations. But they still all work harder and desire that promotion. I can't quite wrap my brain around it. But it gives me a unique perspective because, like I said, I came from hating my job and wanting out because of that. But then I see her loving her job, and it doesn't look intriguing to me. It's still, my conclusion is the same. Retire as early as you can. And that's just one aspect of it. That's just the aspect of working and what it takes. And you're supposed to work hard and grind and do your best and give it all. And, I'll speak for myself personally. We've had the last couple months where work for both of us has been so busy, and you come home and you're just exhausted. You're spent, like there's nothing left. And then my kids come, they still have energy. They want to play outside, and I'm too tired. And I hate that. I hate that I have to give so much energy at work, and that my wife has to give so much energy at work. I want to retire early. I think everyone should. And we had there was a study done in America, and I don't remember exactly who did it. I think it was ExxonMobil, which seems random, but they did a study and they found that on average in America, the age was either 66 or 67 is when an individual has some kind of health issue that alters the course of their life. Not like the sniffles, not the cold, but something that affects them for the rest of their days. 66 or 67 was the age. I don't remember the exact number. I mean, when I heard that number, I was like, wait, we're supposed to work until 65, and then a year or two later, on average, there's a health issue that's going to prevent us from doing physical activities, traveling, doing things with the grandkids. That math ain't mathing for me. I don't know about you, but I don't like that equation. And it reminds me because we currently live in Europe, right? So every Christmas here, there's like huge Christmas markets all over the place in all these countries surrounding us. They're beautiful, beautiful. My wife's parents came 2 years ago. So they must have been, I want to say 67. Her dad is 67. So we drive down there, drive to the Christmas market, and within 5 or 10 minutes, He's in pain. He's had hip surgery, 2 hip surgeries. So after 10 minutes, that's all he's got. It's not that he's lazy or out of shape. It's the surgeries. It's the age. So what happens is he has to sit somewhere at one of the booths, and then her mom will stay with him, and we'll go explore, and then at the end we'll come back and pick them up before we go to the car. So he misses 90%. 90%. After coming all the way to Europe and going to one, you miss 90% of going to the Christmas market because you're physically not able. Last summer, we went on a trip to Greece with my mom. My mom is 67, and she's in relatively good health. And we went to, we're in Crete. So if you haven't been to Crete, I highly recommend it. It's amazing. We went to one of the beaches, Elefanici. I'm not sure how to say that, but it's incredible. Elefanici Beach. But to get there, you have to walk down, I hate to say mountain because that makes it sound like we're mountain climbing. We're not mountain climbing, but I guess it's a mountain. So yeah, you have to kind of walk down this little trail. It's maybe a quarter of a mile. And then, back up. My mom got a ride because, again, she's older. But even with the ride, once we were getting ready to leave, we're getting ready to go back to, board the bus and head back, and she passes out. Just right there on the spot. Terrifying. And we spent the rest of the day in a hospital in Greece. It was terrifying. But those 2 events really make me think, like, man, as you age, as you get to that age, your body does start to deteriorate, and you can't do all the things that you can do in your 30s, 40s, even 50s. So why do I want to spend all that time still at work until I'm 60 or 65, and then I have a couple of years? Even, and that, again, I mentioned the age of 66, 67 in America, but even in places that have it higher, I think Japan and Korea, where they have a little healthier diet, their food intake is different, and they're more physically active, I think. But even there, I think the age was 72 before they had some kind of health issue that prevented them from really going out and about the same way they were before. So even then, let's say best case scenario, right? You retire at 65 and you have to 72. That gives you 7 years to be mobile and go be active and do things. That doesn't seem like enough time to me after 40 or 50 years of working. So again, my plan started with just a pure hatred of my job and to try to find the quickest exit to, it's kind of evolved to life is short. There's so much to see. There's so much to do. And while I appreciate my job, I like my job, and while I appreciate what it provides and the people I get to help, I almost resent the fact that I have to be locked up there and I can't go do the things that I want to do on a daily basis. That's why I want to retire early. I want to do what I want, when I want, with who I want. I want to retire as early as possible. And I would suggest maybe you don't retire in your 30s or your 40s or your 50s, but at least 1 or 2 years early. Give yourself more time. I would suggest at least think about it. Mull it over. Sleep on it. I think it's a worthwhile endeavor. Okay. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I'll see you next week.